Hey everyone, so in this section we're going to be talking about coding bootcamps and whether or not there's something you should consider for your future. Now, if you've never heard of them before, coding bootcamps are actually very similar to what they sound like. They're essentially a bootcamp that are aimed to teach you very technical skills in a fairly short period of time. A lot of them are focused on a very subsect of coding, whether it's back-end development or front-end development, web development, data engineering, a bunch of different aspects of development that you can actually specialize in that'll essentially teach you the relevant skills that you'll need to transition into this particular career after the program. Now, these boot camps themselves have been very effective at not only providing students with a baseline of knowledge in this particular field of study, but they've also been very good at helping students actually transition into the workplace through forming various industry partnerships or allowing students to build portfolios that'll make them a little bit more competitive in the interview process, or even just building connections within the classroom as well to help students maybe even start their own startups at the end of these programs. The other really awesome thing about these programs is not only are they providing students with a very specialized set of skills, but they're doing so in a fairly short period of time as well. In a lot of cases, these coding boot camps will last anywhere between a few weeks to a few months, and students will kind of come out of the program as a cohort. And in a lot of cases, they have industry partnerships where they'll kind of put these students in front of hiring managers or technical leads at various technical organizations as well. And students might be offered some positions based off of the skills that they learned in this particular program. Now, it's very important for students to realize that these programs are not master's degrees, they're not bachelor's degrees, they're actually very different. In fact, they in a lot of cases serve a very different student profile as well. And because of this, it isn't something that is for everyone. You might find that you're interested in a very specific area of development that's going to require you to have a very strong quantitative or mathematics background. And if you don't have that and you're not getting that through your specific coding bootcamp, which in a lot of cases you might not be, then this might not actually be the option that's relevant for you. The other thing for you to also consider is the learning environment. And so the coding bootcamps are very great for people who need that classroom environment. They need to be working in groups or in a group setting, or they need to be able to ask their instructors a question in real time. And they just need those feedback sessions that they might be getting from these boot camps. But there might be other students who find that they're much better in an individualized setting where they're going to be learning on their own at their own pace, able to work on projects on their own, and can kind of seek out answers on their own throughout various forums or study groups online or just other mediums that are a little bit different as well. Now, the benefit in having the group setting is not only that you're able to work with other individuals, work with people who in some cases might have already worked in the field or have significant training, but you'll also be able to see how the skills that you learn fit into the bigger picture. And what I mean by this is if you work in development or you're going into a tech organization, you're going to find that development itself isn't as individualized as it might sound. A lot of developers will work on teams that might be product teams and work with UX designers and UX researchers and QA specialists and people from a variety of different backgrounds as well. So being able to understand how your specific skills are going to fit into the bigger and broader picture is probably going to be something that'll serve you well in the industry in the future. The other thing to really consider about these coding boot camps is whether or not the portfolio you're going to be getting at the end of the program is going to be something that's actually specific to what it is that you're looking for. And so in a lot of cases, these boot camps can be a little bit costly, but the benefit that you're going to get outside of that is not only the connections that you're going to build, not only the skills that you're going to get, but also the portfolio that you're going to be building over this period of time. Now, of course, it's going to be a very intensive study session if you're going to be going through a boot camp type setting, but the portfolio is probably going to be one of the most important and critical pieces in an interview process to kind of exemplify some of the skills that you've learned in these particular boot camps. A lot of employers might still be on the fence about coding boot camps. Now, the great thing is the fact that the tech sector itself tends to be very open to non-traditional candidates if they can exemplify the skills necessary for the job, which again is where the portfolio is going to come into play. And so being able to exemplify those skills not only through your portfolio, but also in other technical interviews that you might come across, which again, these coding boot camps might also, in some cases, help you prepare for as well, then that might make you a little bit more competitive in the job market. The great thing about the coding boot camps is, as I've mentioned previously, is the fact that some of them might have industry partnerships. And the fact that you're able to get in front of people who are kind of already sold on the programs, given the fact that they've showed up to the industry events and given the fact that they might have hired people from those particular boot camps in the past, that might also act as kind of a stamp of approval from the education that you're going to be receiving as well. If you're targeting a more traditional industry government is a great example, maybe some healthcare industries as well, who are looking for students who are a little bit more traditional in that they've had a formal degree in that particular field of study, then these options might not be the best for you, or you might have to find alternatives to be able to supplement the information that you're able to learn. But that's also something for you to consider in the future as well. I think overall coding boot camps are something that's fairly revolutionary, and they're very effective at being able to teach people the exact skills that they need for a particular role. The great thing about computer science is that you're going to get a very strong background through an actual formal degree program, but you're also going to get a lot of theoretical knowledge that a lot of people have argued aren't really relevant to many of the positions that are in the industry. And so being able to cut straight to the specific knowledge that you're going to need for very specific jobs might be something that's going to interest a larger subset of people. So hopefully this provided you with a very solid background of knowledge, and hopefully this is going to supplement some of the research that you're going to be doing on your own as well. I'd love to hear some of your comments, questions, and concerns. So have you ever attended any of these programs? Do you know anyone else who has? I'd love to hear some of the feedback that you have, some of your experiences in the comment section below. As always, thank you so much again for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe if you appreciated this. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.